we're doing another interview for power couples. Maurice and Sharon Almond met on the campus of Greenville University and became soulmates on August the 15th, 1981. They have been married for 39, almost 40 years. They have had a passion to serve. They've always had a passion to serve married couples. And after having their own marriage ministry, they were later appointed as marriage ministry coordinators over Word and Action Ministries by Bishop Wiley Jackson. Sharon is an author, and with her husband, Maurice, their goal is to empower couples with practical tools so their marriage can not only survive, but thrive the unexpected in their relationships. And so we want to now look and listen for wisdom nuggets from Sharon and Maurice Almond. Thank you all so much for being a part of this interview.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with the first question. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with the first question. Okay, when was the exact moment that you fell in love with your spouse? Sharon, we'll start with you.
This is kind of funny. I think it happened really organically because we were in college. But I think once I went home on a break, was at Thanksgiving or Christmas break. And I actually was dating someone else. And he went on a road trip. I think he was in Texas for baseball. And when he called me over the telephone and we had a conversation, when I hung up that phone, I knew I fell in love with him. I missed him. I didn't want to be away from him. And then another joke I always tease him about is when we were in the camp, we got married while we were in college. And when I saw him on the roof of that college campus, I said, he's the one for me, because I knew that there was nothing that he would not do to provide for the family and make an honest living. So I think those are the things that I fell in love with, but I think more so his integrity and his ability to just be a true man of honor with integrity and character. And I think those are the qualities that made me fall in love with him. It wasn't a physical thing. It wasn't a romantic thing. It was those physical, it was those tangible things that I fell in love with.
Okay.
First.
Awesome.
Even though it was cute.
What about you, Maurice? What was the exact moment that you fell in love with Sharon?
That was around the same time, basically. Like she said, we both were seeing other people. And actually for me, after we decided to break off our other relationships that we were involved in, she cooked for me in college. Not just what do you call it, frozen food. She really threw down. It was smoked, it was smothered pork chops and corn and cabbage and cornbread. I'm a college student, we just looking for crackers and peanut butter just to keep going. And she actually cooked a meal like Sunday day meal. And I was like, wow, I was blown away from that. So that was one of the things that really made me know that I was in love with her. The second thing was she introduced me to Christ, and that changed my life. And I knew at that point she was the one for me.
All right. So the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and
it still works.
Yeah,
it still works.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, we can go with the next question.
Okay, I'm gonna for this question, I'm just gonna lay it right between the both of you, and whoever wants to tackle it can have at it. What makes your marriage unique?
Unique, that's an interesting term to use. I think what makes it special is the fact that it's Christ-centered. And in our marriage, we have a relationship or a marriage that we feel that is governed by the guidelines of Christ. And we have a foundation, and we have three key components of our marriage that we always tell people and that we focus on, and then that's that we enjoy each other. We like to have fun, and then our faith is our key component, and then our fellowship would be the last component. So I think having a foundation in your relationship, having goals and vision to live by is the key that makes our relationship different and makes it special.
And I also would like to add, when I think about the word unique, I think about what we said, and we got married relatively young. I was 20, he was 23. And what was unique about it is that when we went into the marriage, we took divorce off the table. So we knew that regardless, come what may, regardless of what happened in our relationship, what challenges we would face in life, that divorce would never be on the table.
Right.
And it really allowed us to be who we were, unfringed, unconditionally, just transparent. And I think that's very unique because I think today a lot of people go into marriage and you'll hear them say, and this is nothing against a prenup if that's what you want to do, but get a prenup, or this doesn't work, I know there's an out. You know, they go into the marriage with an out. They have a plan for how to get out of the relationship before they even give it an opportunity. But we went into our marriage with that, and we did not give ourselves an out. We said, come what may, we're going to stay in the relationship. So I think that's unique, and what's kept us together almost 40 years.
Definitely.
That is so powerful, Maurice and Sharon, that at a young age, 22, 23, in your 20s, that you put a stake in the ground at the very beginning saying divorce is not an option. It's not even on the table. Right there is profound. And I think, a lot of couples could draw from that today, that if you put that stake in the ground at the beginning of your relationship saying that, hey, if we move forward, or when we move forward with marriage, that divorce is not an option, that we're going to stay. That's powerful.
Definitely.
That's powerful.
Definitely. Awesome. The next question. During the toughest time of your marriage, what did you learn about your spouse? Maurice, I'm going to start with you on that one.
That she's in it for the long haul. That's definitely true. Like we've said before, we've been through a situation where I was unemployed for 2.5 years. And, nowadays, these wives, even husbands in some cases, they hear things like that, then they're out. What can you do for me? You can't do anything for me at this point. So they run. But I knew, or I felt, and I saw in her every single day that she was not that type of wife, and that she was there to encourage, to pray, to support, and to just let me know day in and day out, I'm with you, baby. I ain't going nowhere. And we have a motto we always say, it's just the two of us. Yeah. That's true. And that's what we live by. So.
All right. Sharon, how would you answer that?
I would have to agree. There were days through that 2 years and 3 months when my husband wasn't unemployed. And I just think I had a supernatural strength. Not that I didn't get afraid, not that I didn't feel fearful, not that I didn't have bad days, but I just felt my husband's always been a provider. He's always been a protector. He's not a lazy man. And I know people, this might sound crazy, but I believe his unemployment for 2 years and 3 months was not a satanic attack on our marriage, but I believe it was God ordained. Because if it had not been for that challenging time in our relationship, I wouldn't have never written the book, More Than a Paycheck. I would never have branched out and launched into speaking and sharing our testimony. And God needed to use that as an experience for our marriage so that we could help other couples. So I just really believe that it was almost like when Satan went before the Lord and said, what about your servant Job? Not that I'm comparing that, we're all that. But what I am saying is I knew we were walking upright before the Lord. I knew we had committed our lives to him. I knew that we had done all that we could to walk in the favor of God. So I knew it wasn't anything that we had did to fall out of favor, so to speak, with the Lord and our relationship with him. So I knew it had to be something that he wanted us to be able to experience together and go through together. So I would say that was probably the most challenging time of our marriage that we've ever gone through.
Yeah. And for a woman, you know, and women, you know, they value security in any relationship. So my wife, even though she's a praying woman, she believes in God and lives her life by God, she did question. She always asked me or came to me and said, why do you think we're going through this?
Why us?
Yeah, why us? Why is this happening to us? And I always tell her, why not us? Because how are you going to be able to share with someone if you don't have a testimony that you've been through some things? So that was very pivotal for our relationship.
Or no testimony without a test, rather.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Amen.
Amen. Real good.
Amen. Powerful, powerful,
Very.
powerful. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's keep it moving. So Sharon, I'm gonna pose this question to you, and Maurice, you can follow up after she answers. And the key word here is if. Sharon, if you could heal a pain inside of Maurice, what would it be and why?
Wow, that's heavy. That's powerful. I think sometimes, and this is pretty deep, and my husband doesn't talk about it a lot. I think for my husband, if I could heal a pain, I think he maybe would have wanted a better relationship with his dad. Not that the relationship was bad, don't get me wrong. His father grew up in that generation where they get up, they go to work, and they would provide for the family. But there was no emotional attachment. And for a man, not let alone an African American male, that is such a critical part of who you are as a human being, is to have that emotional attachment. So if I could heal anything, a pain in my husband, I think, and I hadn't shared that with him, but I've heard him share that with me, it would be an opportunity to go back and to really build an emotional attachment with his father. Even though, you know, great relationship, you know, they would talk, especially as he aged and got older, but I just don't think that emotional attachment, even growing up, I think you said your father never even told you he loved you. So to never hear those words from a male that I love you, it's amazing how my husband can love me. And I think for him, it was like, I'm going to do the opposite. And he was vulnerable and transparent, and always told our son he loved him and hugged him, and they have an emotional bond, but he never received that.
Yeah. And piggybacking on that, I would think it would be the same with my wife, with the fact that she didn't get a chance to experience marriage with her dad being in place. I mean, her dad died when she was 17 years old. So he didn't get a chance to experience all the things that she went through to be the wonderful young lady that she is and the beautiful wife that she is. And just to let, you know, get confirmation from her dad that the things that she's doing are right, and he would be very proud of her, and that he didn't give the opportunity to give her away. I think that would probably be the one big healing for her. Other than that, she got me, so there's no other pain.
He said, "There's no other pain." All right.
No other pain.
Amen.
Awesome.
I really do say my dad died when I was just 17, and you know, I got married so young at 20. So it's like Lord took my father, but he gave me Reese within 3 years. And it's been just wonderful ever since.
Amen.
Awesome.
Okay, Sharon, I'm going to pose this one to you. I'm going to start with you. Now that you've been married 39 years, what would you tell your single self about dating Maurice?
Wow.
Do I need to read that one again?
No, you don't. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I tell him this is just not. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I would tell my single self there was absolutely not one thing different that I would have done. He is an amazing man, and I am just so honored that he selected me to walk through this journey called life with him. So, I mean, I've been so blessed. He is honorable. He has integrity. He's never violated our marriage vows. One thing I tell him all the time, and even as my single self, he always makes me feel safe. I never question when he leaves the house, come back. I sleep good at night. You know what I mean? I feel safe in my relationship with him. I am so thankful. And sometimes I do wonder, how did I get blessed with such a man? Even though we've gone through some triumph, don't say our marriage has not been this perfect, everything's perfect, everything. But we can get through those because we have such a structured foundation. So I would tell my single self, like, go after him. He's wonderful. You know? Don't play hard to get with that one.
That's good. That's good. Maurice.
I guess the only thing I would tell my single self is don't wait till you got to age 23. You should have did that at 20. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have did it at 20.
Wow.
So, wow. It's been a blessing. It really has been.
That is awesome. That's real awesome. Yes. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
Yes. All right, sir. We're going to start with you with this one.
Okay.
What is the one thing in your relationship that you've lost or possibly lost? I mean, because you guys are talking about some good stuff here that you possibly lost that you would like to get back.
Ooh, and I possibly lost. I feel so blessed, and I've had so many great things that occurred to me throughout these almost 40 years. That's a hard question to answer, because really, I don't really feel that I've lost anything in our relationship or personal, because I've been so blessed with so many things. So I would say probably the only thing that maybe, let's see, probably a little bit better, maybe a little bit better relationship with my wife and my side of the family, maybe a little bit. But that's really a stretch. I think it's grown over the years, but when we first started out, it wasn't, because of some feelings that they had concerning me, nothing really concerning her, but concerning me. But over the years, that's grown and gotten better. So I think initially that might have been the one thing that might have been not there, but is there now.
Okay.
Just for clarity's sake, that was more so because of his relationship with the Lord.
Right.
You know, sometimes people don't always understand.
That's true.
When you kind of step out and get a relationship with the Lord. So it was more so that, not the sibling love wasn't there. So that's probably true for you and your heart. I think for me, now I can get straight to the thing. That's one thing that I sometimes feel that we've lost is our time, making time for ourselves, that I wish we could gain back. You know, sometimes I'll say to him, you know, I'd like to travel more. We've traveled a lot, but I think I'd like to do more of it. So just making up for lost time. You know, as you get older, you start thinking in a different kind of way. Legacy, things are like that. So if anything, that would be it. Just more time for us to isolate ourselves and travel together. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, the last question, and you all can choose to answer this together or you can answer it individually. What would be your 5 key ingredients for a healthy marriage?
Oh yeah, well,
we talked about 3 of them.
We talked about 3. We talked about our faith, friendship, and fun. Those are our main. Those are like our core principles. And then legacy. I'm a nana and he's a papa now. We have a granddaughter and we just found out we're having twins in October.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, our son's going to be having twins. And service. So I would say faith, friendship, fun, legacy, and service would be the 5 areas, because you always, I think when you live out your purpose in life,
Right.
part of that purpose is being of service to others.
Mhm.
So we've always been like that, and we've always tried to raise our children that way. When they were young, we would take them to food pantries and have them give out food. And I've always worked in a nonprofit environment. So I've always been in a position that I was giving people a help up, not just a handout. So
Mhm.
whether it was single female, head of household, reentry services for individuals coming out of incarceration. So service is very important to us, the marriage ministry, and that's why we're so focused on working with married couples is because we feel that strong homes and strong marriages build
Right.
strong communities, and strong communities build strong
Strong.
states, and strong states builds a strong nation.
Right.
So we really are focusing on taking our messaging out that you can have heaven on earth if
Right.
you're willing to make an investment.
Right.
And I think every couple needs to adapt, have a mission statement, and
Yeah.
have things that they live by,
Right.
core principles,
Mhm.
because that's what guides the relationship. And it
Mhm.
helps you to stand when the world is hitting you upside the head and challenges come. You need some core principles to back up on. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can't pray because the challenge might feel so overwhelming. But if you have a foundation and
Yeah.
structure there, you can get through it.
Definitely.
Add a little caveat to that. The love of family is very
Mhm.
important to us,
Mhm,
and that encourages in us, motivates us.
mhm.
And we get excited when we're with our
Yeah.
family. We always want them around. So that would be an addition. That would be a bonus to the 5. Would be the love of family.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we want to thank you. Those are all of our questions. I think in just this short span of time, we've learned so much.
Yes.
We've gained so much more wisdom. We want to thank you for giving us some authentic answers to some pretty thought-provoking questions.
Really.
Um, we know that they will be a blessing to others, and we pray that they also might even spur some conversation to you all.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Maybe it'll provoke you all to travel just a little more.
That's right. That's right.
Well, now that this pandemic is coming to an end, we definitely will be traveling.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Yes.
So we want to thank Sharon and Maurice Almond, another power couple amongst us.
Amen.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.